Peace and blessings to you all, and welcome back to yet another video. It has been some time since I have posted. There has been a lot going on in the collective, a lot going on in my personal life. The energies for the past few weeks have been absolutely crazy. I have been experiencing some very crazy dreams, a lot of downloads, a lot of new information coming in through my body. And when we look at the outer world and we see all the chaos that is taking place, to most, this can feel scary, this can feel overwhelming, this can make people feel stressed and worried that everything is falling apart, especially for those who are of a religious background, especially within Christianity, where they talk of the end times and the end of days and the apocalypse. But we have to remember that these prophecies that have been spoken of before are not about literally the world coming to an end, but it is the end of an era, the end of a massive astrological cycle, the end of mindsets that do not serve the collective. Many of you have heard by now that Earth is moving into a golden age. But before we can move into this golden age, the old world must fall. Many of us have complained of the structures of the old world. Many of us have complained of the mechanisms of power that exist in our world today that do not serve the masses. And this is not a new war. This is a war on ideology. This is a war on our divinity, a war on our sovereignty, because we have been manipulated and educated into believing that we are free. But as I have repeated in many of my previous videos, we are not free at all. We are simply granted the illusion of freedom through things like democracy and the talk of free markets. But it is simply that certain information is kept only for a small number of people. The Great Awakening is happening right now, and many people are feeling the call to shift into something new. Many people can feel deep within them that something is truly wrong. And it is not wrong in a way that we can see it. Yes, we can see that there are many things that are not making sense. And this is something that has existed for time immemorial. It is simply that since the year 2020, with all the changes that happened, we were awoken to the reality of the world that we live in. What many need to know is that the powers that were are falling. And this is why this battle has gotten more and more intense, because those that have been in control of this world have needed for us to not be in awareness of how the world operates. As I have said many times before, the world is spiritual before it is physical. And everything that manifests in this physical world is a byproduct of what is happening in the non-seen realms. Because remember, beautiful souls, you are soul beings incarnated in a human body so that you can experience this physical reality. We are all a part of Source, the original energy where everything came from. And we are all a part of God experiencing itself in a different way, because it all comes back to consciousness. Consciousness means using more of our consciousness, in that we only use, I want to say, about 10% of our brains. And this is because this is how we have been programmed. We have to question why the education system is the way it is, why organized religion was forced upon us millennia ago. and why many wars have actually been wars of religion, wars of ideology, wars of belief. And religion plays the most important role in all of this because, as scientists have proven, the placebo effect proves scientifically that when we believe something enough, it becomes real. And this is why, through Hollywood, through government, through education, through media, news, religion, our beliefs are constantly being manipulated so that they work against us, and they serve the invisible masters that have been controlling this world for a long time. The reason why we have been hearing so much information about ETs and non-terrestrial beings is because they play a great role in the cosmic story of Earth. Earth is so much more than what we think it is. Earth is a living being on which we live. She is a sentient, conscious being. And for too long now, we have raped her, and we have pillaged her, and we have taken away her magic. We have taken away her power, because that power is being siphoned into the hands of non-terrestrial beings that wish to control this planet, to control her resources, and to siphon the potential, the divine potential of all human beings. The Great Awakening is the remembrance of who we truly are. We are beings of great power. We are beings with great abilities. And the more we awaken to the realization that we are soul beings living in a physical human body, and that everything we desire is possible, then we start to question the system, and the system doesn't want that. The system cannot have us no longer complying to the order that they have created, an order that is in reality completely chaotic, as we have moved away from the natural order of the world. What is right is what is natural. And for a very long time now, the system has been normalizing all that is not normal. And so I wanted to pull some cards today to receive some messages to guide the collective at this time, to better comprehend what you can do and how you can continue moving forward. What are the energies that are present at this moment? What information do you need to help you keep moving forward? Because yes, it is overwhelming what is happening. Many of us are feeling exhausted. We're feeling depleted. We're feeling so many aches and pains in our body, having difficulty sleeping, and not finding any rest, no matter how much we try to. It is because many of us are fighting in the non-physical realm, which is where this battle is truly taking place. We hold more power in the spiritual realm because we are spirit beings before we are physical. If there is anything you want to see changing upon this physical earth, we must change it in the spiritual realms. We must change it in the unseen realms. And what do I mean by the unseen realms? I mean the realms that govern our energy, our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs. All of these things, they affect our physical vessel. They lead us into taking physical action. But all of these points that I have listed are nothing tangible, yet they are what control our very reality. So it is time that we start questioning the beliefs that we hold. Do we hold these beliefs because we really believe them, or because they were implanted into us? It is time that we question everything. The thoughts that we hold about ourselves, once again, are these thoughts that have been implanted through us through the trauma that we have experienced in our life, or what we have been taught is right versus wrong. Because inherently within each and every one of us, we know what is right and wrong. When we tune into the portal of our heart, we know what is right and good. We do not need anything external to tell us because our souls know, our spirits know. And it's time that we move out of the mind and into the heart. It is time that we move into compassion, into the inner standing and overstanding that at the end of the day, the human race has been divided along so many lines. But deep down, we all wish to experience the same thing. And those that don't are those that have been so traumatized that they moved more into the side of narcissism, where they had to completely disconnect their emotions, not caring about anybody else, or because it was just too much for them. It was a form of self-preservation. Or people who have become so filled with darkness because of the choices they have made in their life. But the majority of the human race wants to experience freedom, justice, love, connection, human elements that were far more present in our previous world. But since the rise of democracy and capitalism, we all bow down to a new god, the god of money, where people will literally sell their children in the name of money. And I know that many are suffering, but it is my belief from someone who has suffered so much in my life that money doesn't solve all problems, and it is not the end all be all, because there are so many who are still unhappy even though they have all the riches. Because one thing that I have also experienced firsthand is that when people make money through ill gains, that money continues to make them suffer. So it is time that we really start to remember who we really are. Soul beings having a human experience that have access to vast quantities of consciousness. We are being asked now to expand into that consciousness, to remember that we are all beings of light, that we are all part of God, the Most High, experiencing itself in different forms. And it is in our uniqueness that our specialness comes. It is in embracing all the unique traits that we have as the 8 billion plus human beings that live on this planet, because we all have abilities and gifts that others don't. And it is our uniqueness that should bring us closer together, where we can all learn from one another instead of rejecting those things that we do not understand. Because we have been programmed into believing that those things that do not look similar to what we are or what we do is wrong. But there is no one way fits all on this planet. We all came here to share our unique gifts and to experience them in human form, and to be part of the solution of shifting the earth into a new level of consciousness, into a consciousness that resides more in love than in hate and anger. Because I guess this video, I'm addressing it more to the Kenyan people, as this is where I am. And when we see the devastation of what took place the other day on the 25th of June, it saddens me that once again, we are making our own brothers and sisters suffer more than those who are oppressing us. Which is why I will continue to repeat, if there is anything that you can be doing at this time, is elevate yourself spiritually. Elevate yourself mentally, emotionally, and energetically, so that the forces that have been oppressing us can stop feeding off of us, can stop controlling us. Because when you know yourself so well, when you are so familiar with your thoughts, you will be able to recognize when foreign thoughts are implanted into your mind. When you are so familiar with your emotions and you have mastered them, they will no longer control you and push you into taking actions that will bring you back into feelings of shame or guilt. We have power to control our vessels, but it is in our ignorance that these foreign beings, these beings of less light, continue to manipulate us. They continue to control us. They continue to tell us that we are small and we are weak, and there is nothing that we can do. But we hold so much more power than they do in the spiritual realms. Why do you think they need to feed off of our energy? It is because they do not have enough energy to create the realities that they wish to see unfolding. We are the ones who are the creators of this world. We are the ones who have the ability to decide what future we are going to live, what future timelines we want to anchor into our world. They use us as their batteries. They manipulate us into creating the timelines that they want to experience. But what I can tell you is the timelines that they are manipulating us into creating do not serve us in any way. If we continue moving forward in the ways that we have for hundreds of years, we will find ourselves as a population that is fully enslaved to a master that one cannot see. A master that resides within everything that we cannot see, which makes it all the more difficult to fight. So we must become masters of the unseen realm, become masters of your energy, become masters of your mind, become masters of your body. Take back your power and do not give it away, because you hold the greatest power that can ever be in existence in this world. Because just within one tiny fraction of DNA is I don't know how many terabytes of information, because your soul can never die. Your soul has lived since the cosmos was created billions and billions of years ago. What we are experiencing today is just a blip in what is all of cosmic creation. But your DNA holds so much information. It is simply waiting for you to find it. And the beauty is that you don't have to do that much, because the cosmic energies that are coming in from the various planets within our solar system and beyond are helping us to activate dormant strands of DNA and dormant information. This is nothing new that I am telling you here. We are simply remembering where we came from and why it is that we are here. So let's dive into the cards here. The first card that came through is reflection. Like what you see. Change of self-perception. Alteration of reality. Yes, when you look at the world around you, what is it that you do not like to see? Because as Mahatma Gandhi so perfectly and eloquently put, is we must be the change we wish to see. We can complain about governments and corporations and all the supposed perpetrators of this false matrix in which we live. But in the end of the day, we have to remember that we are the ones fueling their system. If we stop complying, if we stop buying, if we stop listening to their nonsense and decide to move in another direction, what can they possibly do to us? And there is no point in going and fighting on the streets. Yes, I understand that this is what people have had enough, and this is the way they show that they have had enough. But there is so much more power in doing this in the energetic realms, in the spiritual realms, in connecting to the spirits of our ancestors, in connecting to those who fought before us and asking them to guide us, because they hold great information. They hold information, wisdom that has been lost. And when we ask to reconnect with that wisdom, and we sit in stillness, and we remain open for the answers come. We have been taught that the spiritual realm, because we are so used to the way the physical realm works, where we have to do in order to get. In the spiritual realm, all we have to do is ask, and we shall receive. And it is simply about trusting your intuition. You have been made to believe that you hold no knowledge, you hold no power, yet your intuition is the voice of God whispering in your ear, telling you exactly what it is you need to do. So yes, it is time that we change what we do not want to see. It is time that we alter the reality that we are living in. And I love that the image is the lion looking to its cub, letting it know that you too, whilst you might be young in your spiritual journey, you are a lion. You are powerful and you are unstoppable. It is simply about believing this. As again I said, the placebo effect. Just because people believe they are healing, they do. So just because you believe you are powerful, you are. Trust that information. Trust yourself above all else. The next card we have is Navel. Connection to mother. Balanced and centered. Yes. The belly button. The navel. The center of our body. Where the upper body and the lower body connect. Where we were once connected to our mother when we were in her womb. Remember, we are children of Mother Earth, especially us, the children of Mother Africa. We are being called to reconnect with our mother, the earth, to reconnect with our center, to come back to our heart and to make decisions from there, as opposed to making decisions from our mind, making decisions from a place of heart rather than making decisions from a place of fear. Staying balanced in our energy, taking it one day at a time, moving slower and coming back to your heart when you feel overwhelmed. Come back to the energy of your mother holding you and your mother telling you you're going to be all right, because this is what Mother Earth is communicating with us. To those of us who are on the agenda of protecting our beloved planet, and this she will see in the spiritual more than in the physical. But if you want it to be seen within the physical, then honor nature, honor her inhabitants, the plants, the trees, the animals. These are the ones who need our help today. We continue to look down at nature as if it is less than, yet nature is what gives us all that we need. When all the systems of the old world have fallen, the only things that will still exist is nature. And the more we honor her today, the more she will continue to give us all that we need as we continue to move forward in this journey of life. The next card we have is Stone Child. Wake up from rigidity. Finding your beating heart. Be the first of a new generation, yes. Build upon what your ancestors started. Because remember, at least especially within the world where melanated people continue to be oppressed in all that they do, our ancestors fought for us to be free today, but they were sold a lie, because as much as we are more free than they were, slavery was just rebranded. Slavery was just repackaged so that we think that we are free, so we don't fight back. But remember, we are not free just because we are given the illusion of choice. Freedom means that we can do whatever our heart desires. That is why our soul incarnated here, because this is what we came here to experience. Our greatest desires, which is creating heaven upon this earth, returning to the Garden of Eden. So be part of the new world. Be part of the children that are creating the new world, as opposed to those who want to continue living in the old world. The next card we have is Sword in the Rock. The calling. Mastering the next steps. Growing with your lessons. The sword. As King Arthur was the only one who could pull the sword out because he held a certain vibrational frequency. We each have our own sword that is stuck in the rock, and we are each being called to pull that sword out, because now we fight with the sword of truth, with the sword of justice. It is time that we be the ones to bring about justice, because Our law systems, our court systems, our legal systems, they do not work in our favor. Divine justice in here, and divine justice works through those that have divine vessels. We are here to bring the truth down onto the heads of those that have feared the truth. It is time that we answer the calling that is being sent from the Most High to step into our power and step, most importantly, into our life's purpose, the mission that our soul came here to fulfill. The next card we have is Song, finding your voice and expression, accepting your uniqueness. Yes, we all came here with our own frequency. We all came here with our own song. It is time that we express our unique gifts. The reason why the world has remained so stagnant for as long as it has is because people have been stuck in the same vibrational frequency, everyone creating from the same frequency. That does not allow newness to come in, because many of us fear our uniqueness. Many of us fear that we will be ridiculed for something that is so out there. But remember, every single being who ever walked this planet, who created something new, who innovated or invented, they were all deemed crazy until finally the rest of the world caught up. Because crazy and genius often go hand in hand. You are a genius. It's just that those outside of you cannot see. So create from that frequency of uniqueness. Sing your song loud. And look at this beautiful image. Be the bird. Let color be your frequency. And let that color spread far and wide across the earth. Because we need color. We have been living in an age of darkness. And it is time that we bring color back onto the earth. It is time for beauty to return upon the earth. The next card we have here is pulling from Secrets of the Ancestors. The numerology we have first is a 3. 3 is all about creativity and communication. And the message we have here is the martyr, sacrifice and self-reflection. And here we have a being hanging upside down. You did not come here to be a martyr. You do not have to self-sacrifice in order to serve the mission you came here to serve. You came here to awaken people. You came here to be a co-creator with the Most High, to create a new world, the world that we have all been waiting for, a world in which we can experience love, beauty, and harmony once again, rather than separation, hatred, and division. Are we not all tired of hating one another? Are we all not tired of wanting to take from one another? We have been taught that in order for one to have, the other cannot have. But we live in a world that was created by the Most High, a being of such infinite, expansive consciousness that provided us with absolutely everything we need to all thrive. It is just that because we have all been centralized in certain locations called cities, that we have been made to believe that there isn't enough abundance. But when you go out in nature and you respect nature and you work with the earth, the earth gives you back tenfold. So if there is anything that you do, if you want to sacrifice yourself for the earth. Give your love, sweat, tears, and energy back into the earth and help her. Because when we connect our energy with that of the earth, she becomes more powerful. We become more powerful. We did not come here to die. We came here to rise in our living bodies. The next card we have is the trickster, ego and excess, with the numerology of 6. 6 is the number of harmony, of connection. Is the number of Venus, our female planet, that is all about beauty and harmony. But you see, the feminine energies that once that once controlled this earth, because we talk of Mother Earth, Mother Africa. But you see, the reason the patriarchy had to rise is because the energy that once flowed through the veins of this earth, through the veins of our beloved Mother Africa, this energy was siphoned by trickster energy, by masculines that wanted to take our power for their self, because they feared the power of the feminine. And so they had to trick us. Look at this being, a patriarchal figure that traps everything in its web, that tricks you into believing that you are small, that tricks you into believing that you are worthless, that tricks you into staying in your ego rather than moving into your heart. Because when we are in our heart, we are connected to the true frequencies of feminine energy, the true frequencies of Mother Earth, the true power of Mother Africa, and the many ancestors, because let's not forget that all the ancestors come from Africa, because Africa was the birthplace of humanity. And so when we return to our feminine principles, and this is also for men, because within each human being, we have feminine and masculine energies, qualities. And right now, we are being asked to move into our feminine qualities and principles: intuition, spirituality, love, devotion, beauty, harmony, justice. These are all the things that have been completely eradicated by the patriarchal system that continues to elevate masculine energies and principles over those of the feminine. So even within men, you hold these feminine principles. It is time that you make way for them to lead you, as opposed to always moving through logic and analytics. Because when we look through logic and when we look at what is on the surface, yes, it can all look one way, but it is when we dive deep into the subconscious, the feminine, that we start to realize that things are not at all as they seem. The next card we have here is we move into another 6, and this time we have Mother God, miracles in motion. So I just want to highlight, this is what it is when feminine energies are allowed to flow. But when these feminine energies are in distortion, this is what we experience. This is what the world has been experiencing, because we have been taught that it is Father God, when it is in fact Mother God, Mother Earth, Mother Africa. It is time that we remember that creation only comes through a woman. The womb of a womb man is the portal of life. And so this planet was birthed through our Mother God. And ancient African traditions knew this. This is why we honored the Great Mother. We overstood and understood that it was our Great Mother, that we were children of our Great Mother. And so when we put our trust and faith in the Mother God, miracles happen. Just like when we put our faith in our mother and we let our mother guide us, miracles always happen, because a mother who is in her true divine essence will never let her child fall unless it serves that child as a lesson. So it is time that we honor the Great Mother, that we remember the goddess. The patriarchy and organized religion has totally demonized the goddess. Why do you think it is that women hold no place in organized religion? Why do you think women have been told to believe that the blood of life, the blood that is shed without pain, without... Now some of us will say, yes, when women are on their cycle, they experience pain, but it is not a physical pain. No physical wound needs to be made in order for the blood of life to hit the earth. So you as women, I urge you to use your blood of life, to gift your your blood, the living blood of creation, to pour it into the earth, because our mother is bleeding and our mother needs a blood transfusion. So offer her your blood. To the men, what you can do is you can offer this through water. Speak into the water and offer the blood of life into the earth, because our mother needs our help. She is bleeding and she is calling upon her children to aid her in this battle, because she cannot win it alone. The reason she birthed so many of us to be on this planet at this time was because she knew that she would need our help. So do not discard your mother. Protect her, honor her, and help her in her battle. The next card we move to is Mercury. Again, the numerology is 6 with a 24. So we had 42 to 24. Communication and truth. Speak your truth. So many people are receiving wisdom and messages from the Great Mother. She is asking you to share them at this time. There are many prophetic speakers out there. Speak these messages, for you do not know that they may hold keys for those who hear them. It is time to share your gifts. You can no longer hide them. Many will say you are crazy. Many will question, but many will hear. And it is those who will hear that needs those messages from you. So if you have divine wisdom, if you have messages to share, the Great Mother is urging that you share them now, because this information must be shared. The knowledge must return. The ancient wisdom is needed at this time. The next card we have here is Calcination, with the numerology 33, bringing us again to a 6. That gives us 666. Now, we have been taught that the number 666 is the mark of the beast. But what we also have to remember is that all of our ancient wisdom has been taken and inverted so that we fear it. 666 is the number of the human genome. I'm not good with my sciences here, but from what I recall, it's 6 neutrons, 6 protons. I can't remember. You can look it up, but it talks about the original human genome of man, of the human being. And this is why there is so much going on with GMOs, because they are trying to genetically modify us as human beings. They are trying to alter our DNA. And this is why we find ourselves now in the collective dark night of the soul. In the journey of spiritual awakening, we must go down to go up. We must hit rock bottom in order to totally surrender to the spiritual journey ahead. And I can tell you this, the spiritual journey is not easy. It is not all rainbows and fairies. It is not all love and light, if you have been deceived into believing. Because the only way that we can get out of this dark night of the soul that we are experiencing as a collective is to heal our wounds. And the only way that we can heal our wounds is by seeing them. All this love and light nonsense, I'm sorry to say, is spiritual bypassing. It is gaslighting in the highest form, as it is telling you that your emotions are not valid. But we must feel to heal. And we are all being forced into feeling all the things that we have wanted to push under the proverbial rug. But the only way out is through. And so we have to experience the darkness in order to reach the light. And the darkness is not all bad, because just like when we are in the wombs of our mothers, we are in darkness. But that is a darkness where we feel loved and cocooned. And it is only once we move through the birthing canal that we see the light of this physical world. And so we are gestating in our great mother's womb in the darkness. We are being given lessons as the sword told us, growing in our lessons. We are being given the opportunity to be in stillness for a moment so that we may use the lessons that life has given us and turn them into light. The next card we have here is Poised. And we come back with the number 48. We come to a 12, which is a 3. Sorry, it's an 11. No, it's a 12. Sorry, my maths is terrible. An 11. What I recently found out the past few days is that Kenya holds the number 11. Kenya is a portal for spiritual awakening. The whole world is looking at Kenya because Kenya sits on one of the most important energy nodes, that when the people of Kenya awaken to their spiritual power, this energy will ripple out into the world and many will awaken at such a speed we will experience quantum shifts into the right timeline. And so to all the Kenyans out there listening to this message, I honor you and I tell you that you hold great power in the greater cosmic story of Earth and its liberation. It is time that you step into your power and remember who you are. And look at this wonderful image. You are poised. You were sent here to awaken the rest of the world. You were sent here to remember and to share that wisdom with others who are yet to remember. And the next card we have is Flexible. And the numerology comes to a 1, new beginning. It is time to be flexible and to show what you are worth, to show what you know, to show who you really are. One can no longer be hiding. It is time to come out of the shadows and to share your light with all those who need it, because leaders are needed to inspire, to show what true divine leadership looks like. And so if you resonate with that message of leadership, then it means that you too are a leader of the new earth. It means that you have information that will help others reach where you have reached, because there are layers to this awakening and there are levels. And some are at higher levels and some at our lower levels. But all you who are at higher levels, aid those beneath you, extend a hand and help them up to the next level, because this is the only way that we ascend as a collective. I honor you, I respect you, and I send you strength on this journey. May your powers continue to unfold. May you remember who you truly are. Peace and blessings to you all, and see you in the next video.